Okay, audio test. So we're gonna test how is the desktop gosh, I can't speak. Desktop audio compared to the music. So that's what we're gonna be testing right now. So if you can put something in the chat letting me know, is it good? It sounds fine. Could it be better? Could be better than fine. Sounds good. That's better than fine. Turn the music a bit down. Yeah, let's try that. Turning it a little bit down. We'll see how that goes. I mean, overall it's just, can you hear me? Can you not hear me? That's the main part, because I've been, for 2 hours, it took me 2 hours to get Streamlabs to even pick up desktop audio. I was like, could you please pick up the desktop audio Streamlabs? Oh, I hit the wrong setting. You say it's good now, but I hit the wrong thing for the desktop audio. So yeah, ignore that. I don't know why desktop audio is blinking, although audio out. I don't know. There's like 2 things blinking here. Streamlabs is confusing today. Let's be real. So I'm gonna hit the live scene. Oh, look, it's fancy text. Is your starting soon screen a flex of a build you've made? In a way, yeah. I mean, isn't that the whole point of a starting soon screen? Though I didn't make it by myself. That is a hub for the Divine that me and a few friends made, but I did make like 70–80% of it. So I guess I'm, in some sense, it's built by me, but it was a lot of fun. Took 3 years. That was a real passion project. Someone else places in your block? Yeah, kinda. Though don't tell them that I said that. So now we're going to test Minecraft placing sounds. So we're going to go down here. Oops. Can you hear Minecraft placement sounds? Like, I know people like that. Like, I would like to hear that if I watch this stream back. Can you hear the sounds? Yes, you can. Okay, cool. Because I find it like strange if you watch back a video and it's just like there's no placement sounds of any of the blocks, and it's like, huh? What do you mean? Okay, I have chat open on my phone, so we'll see how that goes, because I don't have 2 screens on this setup. I think that's why I might not have streamed in like 2 years, but we'll do one screen setup, and we'll just see how it goes. Classic setup. Yeah, it's like anybody can stream. You just have to be like, sure, don't worry about it. All right, so fantasy city planning. Yeah, that's essentially what we're gonna do. We're gonna have chaos. We're gonna try and plan a city, and then it's gonna go horribly wrong, because city planning always goes horribly wrong. So I'm just gonna message a friend on Discord, because he's meant to show up, but we'll see. Stream started. All right. Am I that friend, Salty? No, you're already here. That's the thing. Like, you're a good friend because you're already here, right? So for a little bit of explanation, the friend I just messaged, they made a Datapack a while ago, or I don't know, maybe a month ago, maybe it's a few weeks ago, I don't know. I'm bad on the timeline thing because I've been helping him test it. He made a Datapack where essentially you have, it takes out fighting out of Minecraft, and it puts in rock, paper, scissors, a well, and the middle finger, essentially. So He asked me at one point before he put out the video if I wanted to make an arena for him, but I didn't really have time and he needed it quite quickly, and so it didn't really work out. And I was thinking, well, if I would make an arena for this data pack, why stop at an arena? And then I got thinking and started thinking some more, and too much thinking later, I was like, what if my next passion project that I've been wanting to do a passion project where I just sit down and do something. What if that passion project revolves around this data pack and gives it some lore and gives it like a whole city feeling essentially? So today we're going to try and lay out a city for 5 factions, each of these factions being something in that data pack. And yeah, we're going to go over that and just see where it kind of leads to and how the city layout might look like. And we'll see if maybe 1 or 2 hours later we have somewhat of a city layout, or if we have complete chaos. I am thinking of the latter, but we'll actually see. You said, or there better be a zombie faction or scam, says Salty. Well, I guess we could have an underground faction that could be a zombie faction, so who knows? Yes, underground faction, zombie faction. All right, so this is Axiom, by the way. If people are not familiar with it, it's a building tool, and we're going to be using it. Maybe not the gradient picker today because we're not doing too much gradients, but we're going to be going into different menus to, well, do stuff. This text, by the way, was made with Axiom as well, so... yeah, we're gonna make a 5-sided shape now because I need a 5-sided shape to kind of start it. Or actually, I'll start with some less fancy stuff. I'll just start with some, you know what? Let's clear the inventory. Let's start with, I don't know, wool. Everybody likes a good wool block. So we'll start with, we want a center, we want some factions around, we probably want some walls, and we want some different hotspots, like some key elements to each part. So we'll take out a sign. So now here's the first choice, Salty. What type of sign do you want? Or somebody else? Do you want a jungle sign? Do you want a acacia sign? Do you want a dark oak sign? I'll let you guys pick what type of sign do you want. And whilst you guys are choosing, oh, cherry, I'll have some tea. Cherry sign it is. All right, so I'm gonna turn my fly speed down. I'm gonna boop. So we have the center. Oh my God, look. What type of tea is it? It is an Earl Grey tea that I picked up in London, and I put some milk in it, and I kind of like to have some sugar in it, but I forgot the sugar, so now it's just Earl Grey tea with milk. So here we have the center. Ooh, planning. All right, from that center we want some roads, and these are 4 roads, but you know we'll have 5 because let's make 5. So we want like a house shape, right? Or does one make pentagram in Minecraft to summon zombies, not demons? So house, edge. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sides, kinda. So in a way we have like, yeah, 5 paths leading towards the center of some description. Look, it's a little human. And we'll just move the there we go. There. It's now centered, kinda. It's chaos. So we have our 5 factions. So we have the well faction. In our minds, it's centered. Yeah, yeah. Well, look, in real Minecraft terms, it will be centered. But this is the mock-up. So we have the well faction. We have the paper faction. We have the I can't spell scissors. I can't spell in general. well. Scissors like that? I don't know. It doesn't matter, it's the mock-up. Rock. But this is the best type of faction. It really rocks. That's okay. If we both can't spell, we'll never know. We'll never know the difference. And that's the middle finger faction. I don't know. They're going to be quite rude faction, I believe. So the well faction, and for the lore sign, I'll use a different sign. So the well's lore is a well. I think that works really well. The well faction. I mean, you called it. You said it first. Paper could be like a paper mill. So maybe there are things like wood cutting. Like wood cutting / manufacturing / factory, maybe steampunk-ish, steampunk, I don't know. Maybe something along those lines, with these guys well being water. We can't really give them masonry because that's going to be probably the rock faction. So we have maybe we have some like ropes and stuff. So maybe they have like a lot of like pulley systems. These guys, I guess they're just rude. I don't know what lore to give them at the moment. Rock, that's gonna be the Masons. I don't know, maybe they're the Freemasons, I don't know. Masonry, like maybe architecture. Architect. So this is a word I should know how to spell, but let's be real. Architecture. Looks right. Where's the spell check in Minecraft? I mean, come on, guys. Like that's the one thing I've been asking for. I want spell check in Minecraft. And then my life would be great. Wouldn't have to worry anymore. Mason's architecture. I mean, rocks plus gravel. Maybe they have like maybe a different road type as well. So they have like a more rocky road type, whereas the paper faction has like a more woody road type because they have a lot to do with wood and stuff like that. Also, I want gigantic statues. I'm really bad at building statues, but I want gigantic statues of all the hand symbols that Maki made for his data pack. So I want to convert them into, yeah, like full-on big statues that like line the city and the city streets and are like monuments of these people. But we'll get to that. Scissors. They're going to be doing a lot with cutting. So cutting reminds me of like fabric and silk and like banners. Not the banners in the sense of the ban hammer, which we have on Discord, but the banners in the sense of a flowy fabric. Flowy fabrics. Flowy fabrics. Scissors, cutting up, maybe sails, right? Maybe they have something to do with the shipping business. So maybe there's some, maybe if we have a water feature and a lake, or maybe the seas right there, these could be like, they have the docking districts, so they have the ships. right? And maybe the port district. Yeah, these guys these guys need a little bit more lore. So maybe they're weavers. I don't know. They do a lot of handicraft. Weaving. This is like the one faction where I just haven't really put in too much thought or can't really spitball ideas too much of. Maybe that's the whole point. Maybe they don't have like a faction in that sense. Maybe they don't really know what their kind of faction represents, and they're more like scrubby. Maybe they're the kind of scrubby faction, and they're quite a loose faction. Like they don't really have any big monuments, and they're more like how we kind of do what we want kind of mentality. Do what we want. So maybe that's them. All right, so now we have a little bit more of lore, and yeah. All right, so now each one of these gets a statue, so I'll get a different sign. That's more like general info. Oh yeah, this is gonna be an arena. That text is, let's get a different sign. That's gonna be the arena. Each one gets a statue. And I'm lazy, so I'm just gonna, you know, I'm just gonna copy paste, don't worry about it. There we go. Each one gets a statue of their character, of their ideal in that sense. So this is going to be a tiered city, I think. So I'm not sure if the arena will be like on a pyramid or like on a raised platform, or if it will be inset. That really might just depend on what looks better. I also want there to be like why are they fighting in this arena? So what's kind of the lore behind that? Since there are 5 factions, maybe it's a event that happens every 5 years. So that there's like ascension rites or something like a rite of passage. They have to come together, and then there's a rite of passage where they battle it out in this arena, and then they can move on to wherever. Maybe they go outside the city and like or becomes like the King's Guard, or there's like some special hero event or something along those lines. So the arena will have to be quite grand, because this is like a spectacle, more like a Colosseum kind of event. But since it's only really between maybe a one versus 1 or 1 versus 4 or something like that, it'll still have to have a contained center, so that you like everyone can still view them. So I think the arena itself can't be like a circle would do quite well, but because we have a pentagon as the city layout anyway, we're gonna have a pentagon arena shape. That's really gonna sit in the center and have a lot of gates and probably a lot of market space around it, since it's gonna be quite busy area with a lot of factions moving through and really being that center. Maybe some higher tiers with like market stalls, and then like as once one comes closer and closer to the city center, it really becomes this arena type. The outside of the city, so these are factions that are in some sense at war at each other. Is the land around them hostile is the question. I mean, walls would look better anyway, to have it all contained in like a city shape. I think walls will do quite well. So I think having like either pentagon walls, or I think what would look better is maybe a decagon, so a 10-sided shape of walls, where the walls essentially, let me get some wool, come back into a pointed structure. So say they're from here, and then we have like a center point here, so they kind of go back in and then back there, and well kind of back out and then back in. It'll look a little bit like a star shape in some sense. I mean, this is really rough right now, but something along the lines of this. It'll look the bottom star shape won't look like that really. It'll also be kind of going outwards. But like a starry shape, I think, would look quite interesting as a wall layout, rather than just having 5 sides. It gives it a little bit more depth. There you are. Hi, Maki. Look. What do these 5 factions remind you of? We have a paper faction, we have a scissors faction, we have a rock faction, we have the finger faction, which I don't know what to give them as lore, and then we have the well faction. And I'm giving them all lore now, so they're gonna have full-on lore. They're gonna get an arena, because remember I kind of wanted to make you an arena, but that didn't really work out. And then they're gonna get an entire city and an entire terrain. Because I thought it'd be funny. And I think it's actually a nice idea, and then to put your data pack into it. And then actually have like some lore on top of the data pack and everything kind of involved. I think it'd be a good fun story to tell. Because I think it's just like, why are there 5 symbols, right? Like, why are there these five different things? Why not give them a huge amount of lore? Yeah, I know, right? It's Mackenstein. Oh my god, such a big fan. Look, it's a Mackenstein. Ah, it's so funny. Gosh, Maki, how long have we known each other now? Since 2019? Something along those lines. Yeah, Maki makes great stuff. He's inspired me to make this passion project in some sense, because he keeps making amazing stuff. And look, you get a whole title. Yeah, probably like 5 years, yeah. I don't know, I helped you on that Overwatch map that you made. I don't know when that came out. You should know when that came out. I don't. It's your channel, man. All right, so where do we go from here? I need an arena layout. I need to have a look at what Maki's symbols looked like as well. Also, each faction is getting a giant statue of their thing, and probably so we're gonna probably have some city gates between each faction. And each of these is gonna have like a statue of whichever this faction is. So this is the rock statue. And this is going to be, well, the finger statue. Maki, why did you make such a, yeah. You know, this statue is just gonna flick everyone off. Like, people want to come in the city, they're just gonna see that statue. Like, great. They're not gonna want to enter. So essentially we'll have like a big city gate and two statues either side or something along those lines before they enter. And that's gonna really kind of show also from the outside of the city which faction is in which territory. So maybe you don't want to enter on this side, maybe you want to enter on the scissors and rock side because you're more inclined with those two factions. I don't know, maybe something along those lines. I need some tea, my voice. The Finger Nation should be equivalent of the Fire Nation in the Avatar. Yeah, I mean, kinda, right? Like, they're just... Like, I didn't know what to even give them in, like, the lore sense. Because for the other factions, I can come up with quite a few ideas, but Fingers, I was like, handicraft? Maybe that's what they like doing? Or weaving? Because, you know, you're using your fingers. But then I was like, scrubby and do what you want kind of deal. Like, they just don't care. I think that's going to be the biggest thing. Like, they're not really going to have any monuments where like the well, you could have like a big well in the center of it, or like a fountain and some waterworks and stuff like that. But these guys are just going to be like, yeah, we don't care about like how our city looks. So I think I'm going to make this district look really shitty. Because yeah, there's not much really going on. Yeah, well, if you have any questions to why it says finger on the sign, go ask Maki. The other shapes have passions and lore, meanwhile Finger Nation is just evil. Yeah, kinda, right? Like, what do you want to give them? I mean, you came up with them. Do you have any lore for them? Because I'm running out of ideas for them. I'll have to have a longer think session. Okay, so Maki, since I've got you here, what terrain do you think the city should be in? Do you think it should be a more lush terrain? I do want like a body of water because I talked about the Scissors faction. Which I gave some lore in the sense of like banners, flowy fabrics, and sail ships and like a port. So is it more of like a multi-biome thing where each faction has like a different biome, or is it like a mountainous biome and the city kind of sits within it and everybody kind of has to work together because, well, the mountains are surrounding everything and they kind of have to? Yeah, what do you think? Or anybody in chat, really, because, well, I'm not entirely sure yet. So we'll have another city gate here. What is the platform meant to be? It looks like an egg. Which platform? This one? This platform there? Or... Make the city gate a mouth. The Finger Nation would love it. pattern on the ground. I mean, this pattern is just meant to be like a pentagon in that sense. Just because there's 5 factions and a pentagon would probably go the best with it, or a decagon, which is the star shape on the side here. I think different terrains would look cool. Maybe you could be explained with lore and nations developed into their shapes because they had to adapt in terrain or something. Yeah. So, I mean, since we're giving the scissors nation, like a port kind of esque thing, rock could definitely kind of be mountains, right? So they're doing a lot with rocks, or maybe it's a volcano, or something along those lines. Let's get a different sign. Don't think I've used this one yet. Actually, we'll just... Can we drag and drop yet? No, always a bad idea. My favorite wood type. That's a good question. I mean, I really love the pale oak, but that's because it's quite new. I also really love the bamboo, if you want to count that as a wood type. Yeah, I'd have to say bamboo is one of my favorites, or jungle. Just offers a lot of... What is that editor? This is Axiom. It allows me to, yeah, build quite quickly. It's on Java. It also has this, and when I open this, I get a different gradient editor, so I can actually pick different blocks and make gradients out of it. It's a very cool tool. You should check it out. I do have some really old tutorials on my channel for it, and I need to make new ones. And Maki has been bugging me for a new tutorial. I'm sorry, I haven't made one. I wanted rocks. So I'm just gonna pick cobblestone, I think. Just for layout wise. Also Axiom, yeah, allows me to replace like this, because why would I want to like use a magic wand or anything? All right, so the rocky rocks. Well, look. Let me turn updates off, or this is all gonna fall into the void. Look, they don't seem to care. They're gonna be in a desert. Maybe that's why they're so annoyed with the well faction, because they have all the water, and these guys only have sand. Maybe that's why they're so annoyed at everyone, because these guys have all the stone. These guys lucked out, and these guys have all the water. I'm not going to place water per se, but what I will place is just some lapis, or, well, let's just use glass. This is currently a void world, so let's avoid spilling water everywhere. And so they're gonna be like kind of water something going on, and lush grassland. Oh yeah, there's the new grass types, which I absolutely adore. I mean, look at this. Thank you, Minecraft. Ooh. Terrain could have geysers and sinkholes, yes. What about mutated savanna? Obviously everyone's fab biome. Yeah, it could definitely have some savanna vibes, or well, mesa. It's not called a mesa anymore, it's called the Badlands. Like Badlands biome with the like orange sand as well. I mean, this is all just where's it? Orange concrete. Sand? I want sand. Oh, red sand. Why does it look orange and it's called red? There we go. So that'll get some W stream though. You gotta go. All right, Beamworks. Thanks for checking in. We'll see how long I stream as well today. Thanks for checking in and hope you have a nice day. All right, now we get to the paper. These guys I gave woodcutting manufacturing factory / steampunk. All right, so they're still gonna have the more grassy biome. But what I can do, because Minecraft is updating, right? Look, fallen leaves. Who doesn't love some fallen leaves? And then we'll put this, and then we'll just, you know, leaf block. And because you mentioned geysers, we're just gonna use a campfire for now to kind of, yeah, to symbolize that. I love how all the terrains have gotten like a nice multi-block experience, and then there's just rock. Yeah, you guys are really... Yeah, rock. All right, scissors. We have the banners. Oh, that was the shippy port thing. This was the well. Yeah, you guys only get a river. The others get. Maybe because they're not far apart. Maybe there's like an aqueduct thing that's going over, or like within, or like a river actually moving through the city, which I think would work quite well in like a. Yeah, like a terrain sense. And then these guys can have their port area. All right. I think this is going to be the very colorful district. So let me add some wool to kind of symbolize like the colorfulness of this district, since it's going to have all the like banners and everything. Get some yellow. Yellow. There we go. And overall, it's going to be a decently green terrain as well. Give these guys some green as well. Maybe as like a transition thing. And let's get some slabs, slabberoonies. And maybe their city walls aren't really like city wallish. They're more like nature city walls, so a lot of mountains and stuff like that, rather than yeah, the typical the typical city walls in that sense. Like it's more natural city wall-esque. And for the arena, I think we'll try a lot of different combinations of like things, but I think something that's a lot more old looking, that can be attributed to like a time before, maybe when these factions were like, this arena has been around for a really long time. Yeah, something that goes along that kind of that kind of thing. So like a lot of deep slates, a lot of like darker colors. Maybe we can actually find a use case for the reinforced deep slate, which is a quite unique block and just doesn't, like in building it can have a few uses. I've used it in some areas, but yeah, it's hard to work with sometimes because it is so defined in its shape. But I think with some bone blocks and stuff like that, or some of the new, well, not new, but some of the tough blocks, I think we can make it work. All right, so we have our 5 factions. Now we kind of have to, yeah, start building in some sense. So terrain stuff I'm gonna do in yeah, World Painter World Machine. That's gonna probably be a separate stream. But for the building wise of the actual building the city layouts, we can do that now, or just start working on that now and see how we go. Yeah, but probably have to move a bit further out. Let's make a pentagram. Well, pentagon. Let's not make a pentagram unless we want to summon a devil. We'll make a pentagon, just a normal 5-sided shape. We'll have to pick a center block for this. Let's just use gold. I think gold is always a valid block as a center block. Oop. Yeah. All right, welcome to the Axiom editor. I'll be using this to make my pentagon. What should I use? Well, let's go to shape. Or I'm thinking about maybe just rotating copies. I mean, everything can be made bigger, but let's... 34 blocks, that would be a 70 interior circle. Let's, yeah, let's do that. And then let's do another 35. Sorry for any lag. Okay. Might have to move this out a little bit more as it is going to clash in a second. Let's move. Also, I'm going to turn up my fly speed. Let's get out of here a little bit. Ooh, and there goes the text. And I'm just going to fill that part back in. Whoop. Now we're going to go back into the editor. I'm going to be selecting this to that block, press enter to select, or to, and then so this makes 6. I want 5. So this is how you build everything. Well, some of it, but this makes a lot more sense to build stuff with, all right? The question is, why is it not doing what I want? That is my main question. I am rotating copies. It is meant to place blocks, no? Where are my blocks at? don't have a mask set. Though I can set one. Here, are you happy now? Do it. Thank you. Look! It's a 5-sided shape. Now we just have to connect points. So. Give me a second. Need to figure out what I want to do. Path. Yes. Give me that block. I want to go from here to there and to there and to there and to there and back. Back to this block. I would like radius 0. Would I like to loop it? I don't know. Keep existing. No, I don't care. Override block. Sure. Enter. Look, it's a pentagon. And we'll make another pentagon on this. Whoop. Want to be over here. No, I don't want to be over here. I want to be over there. Whoop. 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 Press enter. Here we go. I gotta go, Robert De Niro, but was sick watching you act some magic. Thank you, Maki. Have a good day, man. Hope you have a good Pfingsten tomorrow. If you're doing anything for it, and it's a public holiday, so have fun. I hope you did your shopping. Everything's closed. So, the question is this just the arena? It could be. I mean, if this is inside and that's just the sorry for any lag. You did your shopping. Bye bye. All right. Have fun, man. All right. So I think this could be like the inner tier of the arena, but I do think the arena itself, like the stadium part, would definitely be this big and have like lots of arches and stuff like that. I do quite like the design though. I think it could work quite well. So let's get these up, just so I can kind of see what I'm working with. Should probably make them a different color so I can actually differentiate between what I'm doing here. So let's use a... should I just go for polished? Let's keep the ground. Let's keep the ground a different block. So this is just the arena. So this will be like the center point of everything, of the entire city. And then we have the arena. That kind of feels, does it feel a little bit small? Maybe that's just because of the FOV. I mean, a lot of people like playing in 90. It should be fine. Right? Yeah, to get around, to have like the battle arena, and then you will have all of the stands going upwards and people cheering your name. I think it should be fine. I mean, we can always move it. Then this is going to be all the seating, I think. So let's see. Need a different block to highlight. Look, I'm magically, yeah, you know, I'm just that good. Don't worry about it. We're gonna rotate that again around that center point. So let's select. Yeah, I can't. I need to select before I. There we go. Block. Well, we're just gonna do air, because that should fill that in. We have. We didn't get all the points. Then we're just gonna do. Let's hope that it just works. Why is it not working without the mask? You just have a good gaming chair. I do not have a good gaming chair. It is a chair whatever the student accommodation gave me. It is horrible. Maybe that's why. Maybe the people with the good gaming chairs, you know, maybe the gaming chair is not working. This chair is horrible. Like, I'm probably gonna... the stream won't be so long because the chair is so bad. Please sponsor me, chair gaming company, something to give me chair. Why does it want a mask? I guess just give me a block, and well, let's do or. It doesn't matter. Give me another block, and we'll just do air. And let's try that again. Okay, selecting, pressing Enter. Selecting. Pressing Enter. All right. I mean, let's be real. We're working with shapes that are not meant to be in Minecraft, like triangles, pentagons, hexagons kind of still work, and stuff like that. So let's be real, it's all gonna be really messy. But we'll deal with it. It won't be an issue. Ever. Don't worry about it. What's happened with the gold blocks here? There's meant to be one down here. Where have you gone? You believe? Well, where'd the gold block go, though? Just want to rotate copies. You know what? We're moving this one up. Boop. Okay, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You didn't think I was gonna do that for each one. And now we have double gold blocks because it's all messy. All right, what's the count? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in between. So we have a grand total of 4 here. We have a grand total of 4 there. Cool. Sure, whatever goes. I just want to get rid of the double gold. All right, let's draw some paths. We're just gonna take a contrast block. By the way, although it looks like I'm doing something that is final, this will probably all be ripped out. But it's more of a gaining an understanding for what I want. And as I don't really know what I want yet, or like my brain says one thing and then tomorrow I'm gonna be like, well, that was horrible. Yeah, it's all probably gonna get ripped out again. So don't worry about it. It's all crappy at first. And then who knows, in 6 months it might actually be something good. Because there's going to be archways that need to be made. There's probably going to be an underground system that will have to be made similar to the Colosseum of like how do players even end up at the top? How do you even get around? How do you get to the arena? Because I do want the map to be functional in that sense. Like I want to play it with people. So like that's the whole fun of it, right? To have something that actually works. And then you can actually play with somebody. All right, now we're gonna fill. I'm just gonna use planks. You like my thinking? Oh gosh, well that's why everything takes so long. I tell you. That's why everything takes forever. That's why I get burnt out. Now I'm just gonna fill this part in over here. I'm sorry for screen flashiness. Boop, 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 boop. And we're just gonna raise these up and then just kind of see what it looks like, just to get kind of feel for it. Because yeah. Like the hardest part is not, I don't even think the arena is gonna be the hardest part. It's gonna be for each faction, creating a different like feel for it. So that the housing in this district feels correct to it, not the housing and lore feels correct for this district. I think that's going to be the biggest one. And then the arena is going to be that centerpiece. So where the styles of each of these factions kind of comes together on the outside, but on the inside, I do want it to be a like an ancient, more unique style, or like maybe a Gothic style, or just like a very monumental style. Just so it does have that differentiation, but on the outside it will have like a lot of the colors and the kind of the schemes, as if like each faction like is maintaining each part of the pentagon on the outside, so that if there's like archways on here and they're part of like the scissors faction, because I'm giving them banners, flow fabrics, and sail ships and whatnot. I do want that to kind of mimic, like if these guys are always looking at the facade of that pentagon on here, like they would want to decorate it in their colors, right? They would want to keep it maintained and show everyone off, like, hey guys, look at our side of the Pentagon. We're maintaining it. We have all these lovely banners, and we really support our team, our people that are competing in this arena. So I do think, like, on the outside of the Pentagon, it should definitely resemble or give like a praise to each of the faction. Whereas in the center, it's going to be very, not dull, but it's going to have its own unique style. That is more kind of that ancient style as to whatever this monument was there beforehand. And maybe where these magical abilities of the fighters come from. Who knows, maybe I can get Maki to change the warning circle around the players to be a bit more magical or something. Maybe he's up for that, we'll see. Alright, let's extrude. So this already has a platform, so we'll extrude this twice. Then we're gonna go here and extrude that 3. We'll just extrude all these up to have that layering. There we go. Oh, I missed some. Let's just hide that we definitely did this all correctly, and there will be no air blocks in the build afterwards. It will cause people to lag out. Don't worry about it. Catch everything. So, to be fair, it doesn't look half bad. I think it needs a lot more work in that sense, but I think for like a quick sketch, I think it doesn't look half bad for a Pentagon arena where you can kind of see it from all sides. I love how I unintentionally made it suddenly go higher to kind of curve it. I like that though. I like this kind of, it's kind of starts shallow and then it starts warping upwards and getting, it looks like it's getting more condensed down. Maybe overall we'll have like a bit of an arch going. We'll have to see how we stack that, but I think that could be very cool. But yeah, overall this, I think will sit a lot higher, or what we might have is that the arena itself sits higher than the platforms, like that it'll be another ring. And then the arena itself will be on a pedestal, kinda. And so it'll be the same height as this. But yeah, there'll be like a valley between it, making it seem like you're closer to the action essentially. I mean, similar to, I guess, how boxing rings work, right? Where you have that in higher pedestal in the middle, and you can kind of watch up to the action rather than watching down to the action, which is kind of how boxing works, rather than a lot of other sports, say baseball, American football, anything like that. You watch down onto the players, but boxing, you actually kind of watch up and alongside the players. I guess kind of giving you the feel that you are in with the person that's actually, or in with the action. So I might go actually with something like that rather than the kind of typical look down arena. Because I guess, maybe, I mean, the factions are rooting for their respective person/team. I'm not sure if there's going to be really any teams, since the way the data pack that I'm going to be using for this is coded for one person. But who knows? Maybe I can convince Maki to change it. Although I don't want him to really do any work, I kind of want this to work around his stuff. All right, tea break. Remember to hydrate. Gives me an idea. I'll make a hydration station. Let's make a water cooler. Okay, get an iron block. Get like a glass block, whichever one you want. Then you get like wire hook. I don't know, does it work? There we go. There's a hydration station. Get a sign. Probably spelt wrong, but oh well. Lo and behold, guys, it is the hydration station. There we go. So remember to hydrate. Let me know in chat if you've hydrated. Cool. All right, so we kind of have this down, kind of. I guess what we could do, but I'm gonna be honestly really bad at it, and it's gonna take quite a few tries, is making the statues of the hands. Yeah, it's gonna go horribly because my statue making does not go well. Like, it just takes me an insane amount of time to get through it. I could make a few archways. I could make a few... So you guys can decide what you want me to do. Should I make... should I start with the housing of the different districts? Should I start with the statues, which is going to go horribly? Should I go with maybe a centerpiece of each? Because terrain I'm going to do separately. Terrain I'm going to do as a different stream, which is going to be probably pretty boring. It's going to be me doing World Machine and World Painter, which I don't know how interesting it is to look at nodes. I don't know. So probably going to do that on a different stream where I can plan it a little bit better and hopefully make it a bit more interesting. But yeah, what do you want? Do you want monuments? You want housing? You want statues? Statues going to go horribly. That's up to you guys. I think there's no one left in chat. Oh no. My stream's too small. Well, I'll drink some tea and I'll decide for myself. I think I'll start with the housing since nobody wants me to suffer. Which, you know, fair enough. We'll start with the housing, because nobody's here to tell me what to do. Which, you know, I think is actually quite okay. Do I start with bad housing? Do I start with well housing? So if that's going to be the size of the arena, I want the houses to be quite large. I want them to be quite looming. I want them to have multi-stories. All right, let's have a look. I'm just gonna check the music thing as well. Just to see if there's enough tracks to still go. Yeah, there's a few. Before I have to start looping the music, essentially. Or if I try a different genre. Okay. Let's start with the mountain. Let's just try them out, like the other rock houses. So they're gonna have a base that is made primarily of stone. Most of the houses are going to be stone based. They will be going into a little bit more wood on parts, but I think a more yeah, they're gonna be primarily just made out of stone. Let me get I'll see if I use tough as an accent block, but I don't really want to overuse it because I do want to use it more in the arena. So we'll see. Let me just start getting color palettes out. Okay, so that's my base. Actually, no. Where's my andesite? Also, I do love the new pale moss block. I think it goes really well with some of the color choices. My friend is asking me about uni work and I'm just like, I'm streaming Minecraft. So, what block did I just delete? It's a very good question. I think it was andesite. Any other stone blocks? Brick? Tough brick? I guess that. You go there, you go away, you go there. Spending way too long on the color palette. Guess we could try smooth stone. Not sure on the mossy ones. Since, well, there's... I don't know how the water stuff's gonna be. Like, if I have mossy cobblestone, I really want to use it in places where their water meets stone in that sense, rather than just dry cliff faces and stuff like that. Could do concrete, but I think we have enough stone variants. It's more of like how we use it. There are a lot of gray blocks in Minecraft after all. All right, so that's a lot of gray blocks. I mean, basic house layout is always, or what I've always done is pick odd number of blocks, because I don't want the double middles to happen, or not necessarily, unless you're making a house where you have a roof shape where you're using stairs, where you want two stairs to meet at the top. Yeah, I like using like yeah, the odd number. So say if I do something like 5, then have 2 accent blocks, then do another 5, and organize my hotbar correctly. That way I can, you know, create basic housing layouts and have something that can be like a pillar to really embolden the outside. Or but I think for this project it'd be nice if I don't stick to the way I like building houses, which in some sense is quite old as well. I guess it's like 2019 building. Might be good to do some more modern building, or try out a few different styles. I mean, styles in Minecraft always like to change. I do want to do some large buildings essentially, and I do want them interior, which is gonna take time. So, but I think doing like 5 or like 7 variants of housing that are interior to then place around, and then maybe change a few of the shapes, will give it still a quite city feel. And then, yeah, we can have some more specialized buildings and stuff like that. I mean, the rocks are going to be like stone masonry types, so they're going to have a lot of quarrying and stuff like that. So that's going to go more into that category. So we'll need some terrain that they can actually quarry into, rather than, yeah, just the buildings themselves, where their living quarters essentially are. Also, this is currently, yeah, a very basic palette of all the stone types. I mean, there's also like the calcite, diorite color palettes, the granite palettes, though I think the granite and maybe the kind of redder palettes are maybe for the for this kind of the faction that doesn't like to do anything, or is kind of rogue-esque. I think this faction is more like architectural, like finesse in that sense. They kind of want to show off their style, so that's why I also want, like, with this faction, I want to give them yeah, a lot of finesse to their builds. So maybe rather than it being singular walled, it can be something that's more like pillar based. Could also so it could have like these really strong, heavy walls, essentially on their buildings, rather than just the kind of the normal walls. The question is always, does this kind of loop inwards? I do want to build vanilla in that sense, like I'm not going to use the Tinker tools and stuff like that. Just if it's imported into any world, I don't want anything to break, or I do want, like if somebody wanted to build it themselves in some sense, they could. It's just a way I like building, but I know a lot of people that don't like building that way either. And add all the little details everywhere. So yeah, this is gonna be me experimenting with walls and stuff. I don't know what I want. I do want it to have some lightness to it. I don't want it to be overly heavy either. I do want it to be large and grand in some sense, because the pentagon in the middle is going to be quite large, and lots of arches. I do want the pentagon to overshadow the other factions, but I do want it to be more of a curved thing. So in the center, the pentagon's quite big and the housing is quite small, but at the back, it actually goes the other way up. It's not the best way to design a medieval city, especially if it goes under siege, because you want higher buildings in the center, like so you can shoot arrows from, and it's harder to take in. But I think for the sake of this, to have the building stand out more, I want the inner parts to be quite low, lower density housing, and then on the outer sides I want kind of more the factions to be like, the further away from the center, the more power I have to show. So the housing by the masons and the miners are gonna be like a lot grander and bigger on the outskirts, kind of to show their power, because that's where they need to kind of defend their power. Whereas in the center, like there's gonna be one or two bigger buildings, but it's there's not that much competition, because the main competition actually happens in the arena, whereas the main competition outside of the arena happens on the outer skirts of the city. Maybe just something different lore-wise there. This always takes time. Gonna be me thinking a lot, me ripping down a lot of the stuff, and yeah. I don't like it, get rid of it. Let me try building with wool for the sake of it. I don't know why the game lags so much, just extruding. Or it just doesn't like me, I guess. I don't know, I was thinking like cute little archways like in between buildings, but again, maybe that's not really the style that this faction. Big menacing blocks with like a staircase on the outside to kind of show that, yeah, these guys have that wealth. To be like, yeah, we can really lift our cities up. One nice thing that Axiom now allows me to do is export to gradient painter, then I can be like whoop, and then I can be like whoop. I can be like I want. Since these are gonna be a mountains, I'm gonna give them all spruce wood because that often just grows in mountains as like their flooring. So kind of going for that kind of medieval-ish house that a lot of people just have built before. Room layout wise, I'd want this definitely come out one more and to stack this one more, just so to have that 3 gap there. Just means, you know, like Minecraft player wise, it's better to move around, better to make an interior. Maybe these have like cellars that kind of go downwards. Not something I can do right now, but maybe that is a feature that all these houses have because they all have their own mine, or something along those lines. Let me get some pod soul. So they kind of all have their own mineshaft? I don't know, maybe something along those lines to give each house like a unique kind of entrance type to it all. I think that could, yeah, lore-wise, that they all mine. I love the pale moss. It's one of my favorite kind of blocks at the moment. I think, like, giving it that kind of, as if nature's kind of reclaiming the bricks in that sense. I wish there was like a pale moss, mossy cobblestone, so that like all these patches would be kind of that color. Same for this. I would love that. Maybe I'll make a texture pack or something for that and replace one of the existing Minecraft blocks. Because yeah, that would be really cool. I think why do we have mossy moss and not pale moss? Now I don't want to transition immediately into like a spruce or something. I want to still stay with the stone. So let me. So I'm just gonna try and put some of the tough bricks into it, as an attempt to then have the normal bricks on top of it to differentiate. There might have to be something a little bit different. I think I need to change the shape of the house. Before I change the... so maybe I mean, extruding one would be the best, like outward, would kind of give the best solution. Though I kind of want the ground to be a lot further away if I do that. Because 3 blocks, that's just not enough. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to raise everything. I'm going to move this entire thing. A few blocks up. Then I'm going to move the bottom slab down again. I could have just moved the, yeah, UVL. And we are going to stack. select my points again. I'm gonna stack this 2 down. Of course, these stairs now don't work. Just to give it that extra bit of height. Now it does look a little bit clunky. Maybe I shave off this section again. I just want to give it that extra little bit of height. Coloring doesn't really matter at the moment, but kind of bring the entire building a little bit forward. Not on everything, but to bring it forward on that sense. I'll also allow the building to to expand a little bit. Maybe we clone a section. Yeah, move this. Give that quite high look. So this is not going to have any archways on it again. Or maybe it does. Let's clone this section. Move that out. I need to copy her on, but I like that better without the I liked it better with the smooth wall surface with the detail of the. I'll just take that across. And then we could always add a stair there to actually bring that all together in the sense of the floor being that height of the building. So we have the accents that lead into the mine shaft down there. And then we have the staircase itself, which does go up there, with the floor being on the higher side of the building. I think maybe having an arch to... Let's... Let's put that in like that, which increases that section. Why is everything bugging out? I don't actually know what do fallen leaves look like on Podzol. Not bad actually, because it's just a tiny bit more. And we'll have like big boulders lying around and things like that. We'll stack this one more out. And then we will have to cut it off somewhere. Maybe that's where it ends. I'll just slab at the top to kind of round that edge off. I think on that side it'd be good to have the pillars as well. Just for that extra contrast. We already have 3 there. We'll just bring some of this stuff again to the back. Just extra added contrast. With the wider arch as well. We'll see how we hide the transition. If we just do this. Maybe with the andesite slab. To match that aesthetic, and then bring that down on either side. Kind of tied back in. Gives the player a good chance to move through, and this will probably be some sort of courtyard, and then down into the mines. Bit of a funky shape looking building, but let's that allows me to move it up one story now. I think a combination out of some of the lighter, so andesite and stone. And think about window placement now. Center window. Corners are going to be always quite off. It'd be nice to mirror these arches once again, but maybe with some walls instead of the full blocks. I'm gonna go for the andesite walls here just because I'm gonna match the thing there a little bit better. I will move the stairs back so that they can be in line with the pillars up front. 3, 2, 2, 2, and we'll just try and match the back. With the, although there doesn't match, so we'll move it. These two have to go that way, which means this slab becomes that stair. That stair becomes a slab. We'll have to add an extra one there and that there. And so it all kind of remains symmetrical, which makes the getting to the roof part later a bit easier. Though it would be easiest if the 3 gap would be there, which would give us that clean roof shape at the end, which I think I'll do. And we'll see where it goes. So, sorry, but you have to go again. Just so that it'll give us a much cleaner roof shape over there. It's just gonna make life a lot easier later. And we'll go around 4 up. And then we're gonna get into some wooden accents, I think, at the top. Might have to actually look at a few newer building styles. I mean, we're gonna get to detailing eventually, and then of course the build's gonna pop a lot more because there's gonna be like barrels and different knickknacks and whatnot going on. I'm just more curious at the moment as to kind of some block choices, or overall like aesthetics. I'm not quite sure. I mean, the spruce wood is kind of given for this area. But I think going with like an interesting, more slanted roof could work quite well. But how do I pull that off? This is kind of slanted. Also I don't really want to reuse spruce as a wood type for the roof either. I wanted to more go into, I don't know, like I mean, polished deep slate could work well, like a tiled feeling would definitely contrast quite heavily to anything that we have. And I don't think I'm gonna use the tiled for any of the other factions, or even if I do, it doesn't really matter too much, but it'd just be nice to give each faction its own unique set, right? So I want to match this shape with that shape. So how do we go about doing that? We do that by looks really messy. Could do something like this, but again, it's not really. I feel like the gap isn't wide enough for me to try stuff out. It could literally just be that. And then it's all just copied, moved up. But yeah, it's just, it doesn't really vibe well. Like it feels wrong. But that's a lot of building. For me, it's just, it feels wrong and I need to make it feel right. It's like the top part of the house, something feels off and I want to rip it out and do it all over again. Like, I like the bottom half, but I can't really get around the top at the moment. Maybe it's just the too grayscale at the moment, I'm just not feeling it. Or I need to look for kind of better build style to represent this. Maybe it's the overall shape. Though, I mean, once I have one building, I can kind of move on to like multiplying the building through, well, just using different parts of it and kind of messing around with it. So once I have one building of each faction, it'll be a lot easier. But I think I'll need to do a lot more research in that regard of what I actually want each faction to have. And yeah, I think that'll be a lot more interesting once I actually have something. And then we can do a stream of, well, whenever I have time, of course, of the different, terrain types and stuff like that. So I'll be using some external programs like World Machine, World Painter and things like that to really make the terrain come alive, and then we'll be adding some features to it, such as the geysers that Maki had suggested for this kind of barren wasteland, some different tree types by some other builders, because I'm really bad at making trees, but I have a nice tree pack by H2CO3 that I think we can use, and then making statues. Salty, I'm about to wrap up. I've made the bottom part of this house now. But not really feeling the top at the moment. I'm gonna have to do some more research into some build styles. And then we'll see when I stream next. I might just try doing like every Sunday stream or something like that. I think that will probably work a lot better than weekdays, just because of uni and everything like that. But yeah, I hope everybody's enjoyed, and I hope everybody is hydrated at the hydration station. And yeah, that's kind of been it for today. I think 2 hours of stream time is quite good. And yeah, I'm gonna drink some tea, think about this project a lot more, maybe write up some more lore, and then next stream I'm gonna go over what we did last time, what I've kind of thought about, and hopefully it's not too long between streams, because the last stream I did was like 2 years ago, and let's not do a 2-year gap again. I do find this quite fun. All right. Now I have to remember how to end stream, but if you have liked it, smash that like button. I think that's what people say. And subscribe, and yeah, I'll see you guys next time, whenever that is. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I have to find the stop streaming button. I think it's on YouTube. Live streaming, stream, end stream. There we go. Bye!